Hey, what's going on? It's your man, FFCLAY, aka Mr. Digital Bags. Pardon me for looking kind of rough. Just been on the grind, taking care of business. You know, once you get over 30, you start just not caring. It's like you know you're a parent for real, or you just super on your grown man and grown woman. I used to live in the barber chair at one point, but now I get there when I can get there. Clean up real nice. But for right now, other duties abound, but I'll definitely be in there Thursday, so don't judge me. Also, y'all see Transcend merch, if you can see it. Camera's weird. Transcend merchandise. Transcend is the new movement. This was created by me, but it was produced by Teespring. It's okay. It's not really the quality that I had anticipated in my mind. So I'm going back to the drawing board and controlling my own process. So I'm in the process of getting my own transfers, getting my machines, getting everything back. Me and my wife had all of that at one time, but the machine broke. And there's really nothing like controlling your own process and the quality of your own merchant product. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Transcend is the movement. We got a couple of other ventures in the works. I know I always say, oh, I'm gonna upload more content, dude. And I am gonna do better. Don't judge me, y'all. I'm getting it. I'm doing it better. Um, but anyway, what I am here to talk about very briefly, I'm going to try to do it in under 10 minutes and 31 seconds. I don't know why that number, but I definitely want to keep it under 10 minutes. But 10:31, I don't know where it came from. Hey, but I just a couple days ago I was thinking, and I was thinking about my own situation, and I was just thinking and reflecting within myself upon the times that we're in, and a phrase welled up from within my spirit, and it was as clear as day, and it just was underwrite and finance your own life. And so I was just like, well, I didn't ever think about the power of it before. So I was like, wow, I thought about it, and and what I got from that is that freedom. You know, my wife and I were talking, and we were talking about the difficulty, how hard it can be when you're transitioning from an employee to you being the boss. And we're so used to being told what to do, and it starts out in the school system, being told what to do and given instructions, that it can really breed a lot of mental laziness, and we don't realize it because you're being told what to do. Essentially, you're nothing more than a robot that or a machine that's able to be programmed, and it really robs you of independent thought and creative thinking and independent thinking. And so when you're used to being told what to do and you have to transition from that, you really have to, it's a lot of unlearning and relearning that has to take place. The Bible calls it being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I came to realize how lazy we can be. And I was just thinking about the paradox or the comparison between the two things. Like, for instance, when you were working at a job, you are being told what to do. You have deadlines. You have a time to be there. You have a time for break. You have a time for lunch. You have a time for clock out. There are things that you are expected to produce. So pretty much you're being told what to do. And there is really very little thought entailed, especially once you get in the groove and you know what you're doing and it becomes second nature or autopilot. You don't have to think, you just do. And for us in typical human nature, that's easy. But what came to me was that that situation is the easiest, hardest way to live. And I say easy because it is second nature once you're programmed. But we're so programmed to go get a job, and it becomes easy to just go and allow somebody else to tell you what to do, when and how to come and go, as opposed to thinking for yourself. So when you are transitioning and embarking on the new path and entrepreneurship and whatever that looks like for you, breaking free from the system or the matrix, that is the hardest but most easy and rewarding thing that you can embark on. And it's hard initially because, like I said, it's a lot of unlearning and relearning that has to be done, and it can be very excruciating. And we think physical labor is hard, and it's hard for a minute, but the actual hardest labor to do is thinking. That is because we're not trained to do it, and we're not trained to do it properly, and so it can be very consumed, and it can take a lot of energy, and it can be a lot of frustration. And so a lot of people are tempted to just give up midway through the process and just go back to what they know, which is easier, which is being like told what to do. Manual labor, which means really you're on the same level as a robot or a machine or even an animal, because they can do physical labor, but they can't reason and think and process and create like we do. And so this process has been very difficult, but I see the reward and the benefit, and it enables me to push through the pain and the discomfort and the frustration, knowing what it will yield and produce, as opposed to just giving up and going back to the plantation and being told what to do and being miserable your whole life, but enduring it for the lure of what looks like or what you think may be security, but it really is bondage and slavery, and the worst kind at that, because you are actually squandering your potential and you are not able to maximize everything that you are and everything that has been put in you. And so that's like first form, probably the worst form of death. And so I was thinking about the opportunity that we have in this time that we're in. And we've seen a lot in 2020. And one of the main things that we have seen in this great shaking, they're calling it the Great Reset, and that it is. But we've seen that when it comes to employment, or the world that we have known before and prior, that nothing is secure, nothing is set in stone. And whereas side hustles and entrepreneurship and side gigs and independent contract, just those things used to be real cute, or they used to be a buzzword, or they used to be an option. But we see the way that the economy has been, in the direction that we're going, that is no longer an option now. Even if you're currently in a job, I'm not saying just up and quit and just leave and forsake all, but I'm saying you have to have an exit plan, and you have to have a plan for your life that includes more than one stream of income, one, and two, um, incomes with an S that you control, because this is dangerous just to rely on one income and then to allow that one income to be controlled by somebody else. So we see the rise of entrepreneurship and just really just getting to it by any means necessary. As like I said, as opposed, it used to be a luxury, or it used to be something that was an option. Now it's a necessity, and now is a time like none other, where the opportunity is here to be free, but it's also a necessity. You have to get free, and you have to do it now, because if things have been hard and they've been bad to this point, just imagine what it looks like going forward and the plans that are being rolled out that includes you, but it doesn't include you in your best interest. But they got a plan for you. They got a plan for those who continue to be by the wayside or want to can remain tethered to this system and this machine. They have a plan in place that is just not designed for those who are not free. And I'm talking economic freedom, yes, but I'm talking about mental, spiritual, emotional freedom first, because you can't get free economically, like I said, because this is a whole process from the top down, and it's work that needs to be done. And I was reading a book that I have in my Kindle called The End of Jobs. I forgot the name of the author. I can look it up and then post the link in the description. And he referenced the book also called The Fourth Economy. I don't know the name of that author, but I can also link both of those in the description after this. But pretty much he was just saying how essentially humanity has been through four economic revolutions, starting with the agricultural revolution, maybe between, I think he said, between the 1300s to the 1700s, where everything was more so agricultural, land, living off the land, farming, animals, hunting, gathering, just really just simple living. Then around 1700 to 1900 came the industrial age, and that was more so about manufacturing. We've seen a lot of machines being replacing the work that was traditionally done by animals, faster processes, more manufacturing. The economy became more global. Like I said, companies, corporations, what word am I looking for? Factories, manufacturing, that more so along those things. Early technology, a lot of products and goods were being produced, and they were being produced by major players. So that was from 1300 to the 1700 approximately. And then we have what is called the information age or information uh, revolution, which was approximately between 1900 to 1970, and that's where you see a lot of early technology being birthed. A lot of the stuff that we perfected, more so perfected today, came along those lines. So you more so like your early internet, your phones, medical technology, like I said, Microsoft, Apple, early phones, television, radio, a lot of those inventions that made life a little bit more even simpler than the industrial age, which made the life more simpler than the agricultural age. That was between maybe 1900s, the industrial age, to 1970. So from 1970 to maybe 1990 was the real onset of the information, early technology, digital age. So, and then they were saying between the late 90s, early 2000s until now, it's more so about the entrepreneurship, more so economy, which we're in now, which is really in the birth pains of it. And really, where we're at now is where the world was at the beginning of the tech boom, in the early digital information age. We're right here back where history is repeating itself. So, like, for instance, people be like, oh, if I would have called Amazon when it was at X amount, I would have invested, or Apple or Microsoft, or all of the early companies, Google, all of the Yahoo, all of the early companies that are monsters and powerhouses now. They're pretty much, people say, if they had the opportunity or the awareness or knowledge at that point when they were first started, I would have been X, ABC amount of dollars up, or I'll be rich, or if I had it invested. But this is the opportunity that we have now in this entrepreneurial age that we're in, that I said is no longer an option or a luxury, but it's out of sheer necessity. And I don't know what that looks like for you, but it's an individual thing. And it's really just the rise of the individual. It's time for self-sufficiency. It's time for creativity. It's time to really, Scripture in the Bible calls it the manifestation of the sons of God. And this is the time that we're in. When you think of entrepreneur, you really just think, if you take the money away, you think of a person who is bringing forth and creating from within themselves, manifesting it outwardly. And they're creating something that has never been seen or done before, or innovating on something that has been created, but doing it in a totally different way that the world has never seen before. So essentially, an entrepreneur is somebody who makes something out of nothing, or who brings forth something that was previously invisible and unthought of or unheard of, and they're bringing it forth, and they get rewarded in dollars, in currency of this realm. They get rewarded in proportion to the value that what they bring forth, the value that it brings forth to mankind into this earth realm. And the more value that is placed on it, the more you see they are received and they are given. And that is really the time that we're in. And I myself am looking at various methods, because we're in a time now like never before where there is a democratization of opportunity. And when I say democratization, I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about where what was previously hidden and for a select few has now been brought down to the level to where the average man can access, leverage, and enjoy the opportunities and the power of those opportunities, what they can afford, whether it be Forex, money markets, whether it be the internet, whether it be whatever venture you decide to go into. I mean, previously, when you think of stocks and anything having to do with the money, you think of old white men, with Wall Street journals, and you thinking of hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars being transacted, and you don't see an entry point where now you can get a certain measure of information on YouTube for free, but pretty much the entry cost to get into it is pretty much next to none, and you can get top-notch information and access to just about any and everything that you want to do. Is really just a matter of choice. And so I said all that to say is that I'm looking into various mechanisms and vehicles for economic empowerment and I'm really leveraging on them. I'm really going full force in them, because now was the time, and a time like never before. And some of those ways I will be reviewing, or I will be presenting and bringing to the table via this channel and other methods, because I want to help people get free. And I realize not everybody's coming from a 50 to 100 six-figure $1,000 a year salaries. So really the amount of money that it takes to get a person free is very little. And so I'm looking at methods, and I'm looking at mechanisms, and I'm looking at things that can be able to do that, so that we can take back the power of our lives. We can get financial freedom, we can get economic freedom, we can get time freedom, we can get mind freedom, we can get bodily free. And I didn't mean for this this video to be this long, and I don't want to ramble. Hopefully you've gotten value from something that I've said, part in the roughness and the rawness of the video and the imperfection of any information. Charge it to my head and not my heart, but I had been holding this and sitting on this video for a while, and I essentially just wanted to get it done, and I wanted to get it out, no matter how imperfect, and hopefully it has been helpful. Stay tuned, continue to look for more content. I know I always say that. Like, share, subscribe, support the movement. I have a lot of things that I'll be unraveling, and I will definitely share them here. And essentially, I just want to help people. As I learn and grow, I want to help more people. So this your boy, Mr. Digital Bags, FFCLAY. Peace.